Morning, people, and hold on to your butts because this one is going to be a religious one. Question: Can God do anything? So it feels very much like he can't, although perhaps the word can't is, you know, wrong in this scenario. I'm not for sure exactly what you would use. Won't? I don't know. There are verses that would seem to contradict that. At least there's one that I could think of where it's like, with God, all things are possible. But to be fair, in context, that is in reference specific. Well, I think it would be more in reference to the verses that come prior to that, which have to do with a rich man, eye of the needle, or entering into the kingdom of God. Like it's very hard for a rich man to enter into the kingdom of God. So maybe it's more in reference to that, where it's like any person can be saved, but not that God can just do anything. Now, that's not to say that I think God is constricted. I don't think there's anything else outside of him that's forcing him to behave a certain way, but he also does behave a certain way, right? Take the example of our own salvation and the problem that presented. God created a creature which then violated his law, right? Now, he has an inviolate sense of justice, so he can't just forgive us, but he also has an inviolate sense of mercy and love. He cares about his creation, so he can't just kill us either. Although he did, smite a lot of people in the Old Testament. But the point was to bring us to a place where he could bring about salvation for us, right? Even in the garden, Jesus says, if it's possible, let this cup pass from me. Nevertheless, not as I will, but as thou wilt. So it seems like God can't just do anything, right? It seems like he was forced into that scenario where he had to have this thing happen. He had to find a workaround to finagle his way to forgive us, right? So I don't know like how you describe that. It feels like it's clear that God is, at the very least, he is limited by his own inviolate nature. And it's not that crazy to think of because we ourselves are kind of in the same position. Like where like there are scenarios where we aren't being constricted by something, but we do behave in a certain way. We are who we are, therefore we act how we act. So it might be more along the lines of what you would consider self-restraint rather than some sort of external constraint. If that makes sense. Motivation rather than manipulation. I don't know. Hopefully that's not heretical or something. All right. Bye.